Wait, so here we go, factors and products. One thing keep in mind here, a lot of it's just some simple algebra rules that you got to follow. So proper distribution property, if you have x plus 2 bracket x minus 3, you have to multiply in order to distribute that multiplication correctly, because it's 2 times each part of the polynomials in brackets. So it becomes x plus 2x minus 6, 3x minus 6 simplified. Really? You should have been ready. Okay. So what you have to watch out for is when there's a negative sign in between. In order to multiply properly, it's kind of like you're multiplying in by a -1, and all your signs will change. That's how you subtract correctly. Okay, so go ahead, complete number 1 with the subtraction. Change your signs, collect like terms. So I would have your work up here, and then your answer below. Go for it. Work up top, answer below. Okay, so going through number 1, x squared plus 17x minus 11. And then we multiply in, changing our signs. So this becomes minus 4x squared minus 2x plus 2. Collect like terms, minus 3x squared plus 15x minus 9. Okay. Who else got that? Awesome. Looking at the next question, what do you think you have to do first of all? Katie? That's right. Get rid of the brackets by multiplying in. What do you multiply in by on the second set of brackets? Not 2, but -2. Multiply in. Okay, so multiply in, rewrite it, and then collect like terms to your final answer. 2 steps. Go. Okay, final answer, 10x minus 4. 10x minus 4. Now, what's the difference between questions 1 and 3? What's the difference between questions 2 and 3? Minus what?
12. Minus 8. It should be -4.
Oh, you're right too. Thank you so much. Mr. Barker didn't fix his signs. -12. Good work. Hands up, you got that. There we go. Okay, going back to what's the difference? What's the difference between 1 and 2? Number 1 and 2, those are subtractions, right? But number 3, it's a bracket beside a bracket, so it's a multiplication. So it's going to be 3a times 2a minus b. And you can show that by multiplying like that as well. So you can rewrite it like I just did, which is part of distribution rule, or you can use your arrows or rainbows. The next one, we take 5b and we also multiply it by the entire polynomial, 2a minus b. So you take your rainbows or your flying arrows and you multiply there. Okay. So multiply out, collect like terms. Go. Multiply out, collect like terms. You do whatever method you prefer. Okay, so first step, you multiply out. Now you got to collect like terms. How many squareds are there? Only the 6a squareds at the front. But our middle terms almost always combine. So we combine those terms to give, I want to say +7. Did I get that one right? AB, +7ab, and then -5b squared. So for these polynomials, the last terms are usually a square and they don't combine, but the middle terms always combine 99.99% of the time. Okay? All right, so next question. Now you have a multiplication, so you have to multiply and multiply, and then multiply, multiply, and then you have to subtract this guy. So what you can do to start, and there's several different ways of doing this, okay? Go ahead and multiply first, and then keep this one as minus 5x something 4. Okay, so multiply in, go for it. Okay, so I did all my multiplications, including the second one, right? Taking that minus sign and fixing the 5x minus 4. And now I'll collect like terms. Multiply in, collect like terms. Second one now is a full meal deal. You've got to be careful of that subtraction. You actually have to put your answer for this multiplication in brackets. If you don't use brackets, you won't be subtracting the whole polynomial. You'll only be subtracting the first term and then actually adding all the rest. So you got to have brackets around that answer. So find an answer at the front, subtract an answer at the back. Go for it. This will be several lines of work, at least 3 lines of work. Now, I'll give you a hint. This is not going to be 16x squared minus 25y squared. There's some terms in the middle. So to figure out the answer for the first part, you want to make sure you're multiplying 4x minus 5y times 4x minus 5y. Okay? So go ahead, make sure you're multiplying it out properly, please. Okay, that's pretty intense. Hands up if you got the same as me. Please do. Okay. So, things to watch out for here. First of all, collect like terms will make it easier. And then you have to fix your signs so that these signs are correct. Okay. Though that's kind of the big ones there. And then you just have to really watch the details, add or subtract your coefficients properly. Okay. Any questions? Okay, that's a pretty intense question. Okay, so the next one, number 6, you can multiply this one and get your answer, then times it by x plus 2, and then you get your answer. You can't go boom, 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 boom. You have to have 2 steps to your multiplication. Okay? Or what you could do is multiply these two here, and then multiply your 5x minus 1 times your answer. That's a little bit weirder. Most of us won't do that. Okay? So multiply the first 2, then multiply it by x plus 2. So difference of squares, hope you noticed that, difference of squares cancels out to 25x squared minus 1. 25x squared minus 1. So now we'll multiply those two out. Okay, the middle terms here cancel out with the minus 5x and the plus 5x. And the nice thing with this now, there's nothing to cancel, nothing to collect, right? All of these are different terms because of the different squared and x's, okay, and x cubes. Hands up if you got this. Good, okay. Next one here, so you're going to take the x, multiply it into all 3, then you're going to take the minus 4, multiply in all 3, collect like terms, okay? So multiply out, collect like terms. Go for it. So not all of them will. Hands up if you got this answer. No? Did I make a mistake somewhere?
I think the 2 is supposed to be the 14. Like the 2, like the square.
X squared, so this here, minus 2x squared, is that correct?
Like on your answer. Like
Minus 14. I can't believe you guys wrote down 2. Seriously. Thanks, Hannah. Minus 14x squared.
And the other one would be 2x.
The x's?
The other 14 you have should be the 2x.
Here's a 6 and an 8. Did I miss something?
No, what you're right. Oh wait, never mind. You're good.
Yeah, okay. Hands up, you got that answer. Woo! All right. Okay, so number 8 is just like, kind of like number 7. Actually, it's kind of like number 6, isn't it? Right? You have to know what the exponent means. It means you're going to have 3 of them exactly the same. Okay? So x plus 2y times x plus 2y. So you have to do the answer to this multiplication first, and then you can times it by the x plus 2y at the end. You can only multiply what's side by side. Okay, go for it. Do the first 2 multiplications first. Okay, so I got an answer to the first one. It's right here at the front, and then I have to multiply it by the x plus 2y. Now, if you don't like it written at the back, you can just move it to the front. Okay, you can write it at the front, or you can write it at the back. Back or the front. Front or the back. It doesn't matter. You choose. Okay, whatever feels better for you, you write it that way and then multiply. Okay. John, will you pass the test? Everyone else failed. X cubed. I screwed that part up. I think I got the rest though. Okay. So this is all multiplication. Most of this you did in grade 9. The last probably 4 or 5 were kind of grade 10 level, right? Yeah. Actually, those will all be grade 10 level. Those are some good questions. Now we're going to go to factoring. So now we're working backwards. We're going to be dividing and splitting up to figure out what we multiplied together. Okay, so now we're going to be creating brackets, not getting rid of them. So here, GCF. Always check for your GCF first. Okay, 12, 24, 18. Is there GCF? Absolutely. What would be your GCF? What can you divide all 3 numbers by? 6? Yeah. Okay. Now, only if you have a negative sign at the front would you have a negative GCF. But we don't have a negative sign at the front, so our GCF will be positive. And then what about the letters? Is there a Z in each term? Yes. And the highest exponent is a 1, so we can divide them all by Z1. What about the Y? Y squared. Okay. So you can do your division, your GCF you write up front, and your remainder you write in brackets. Go for it. Do your division. I'd switch it alphabetically. Yeah, switch it alphabetically. There you go. And then your remainder goes in brackets. GCF, you have to have the GCF. Okay, so always write your GCF up at the front. Any questions about GCF? Okay, when we divide, we subtract our exponents. Okay, so we subtract your exponents to figure out what's left. Next one. So the first one is GCF. This one is a difference of squares. So this is where you square root the front. Oh, is there GCF? GCF first, no GCF. So square root the front. So 16a becomes what? 16a squared is 4a and 4a. And what about the 121? 11 and 11. What's the last part? opposite signs, right? Different signs, difference of squares, different signs, plus, minus. There you go. It's that opposite signs which make the middle terms disappear. The middle terms cancel out to 0, so they disappear. We don't need to write them. Right, turn it over. Okay. Always GCF first. Okay. What's the GCF? I guarantee you it's a 2. Maybe it's even a 4. So on your calculator, try dividing by 4. Go back, square root the first, square root the second, plus, minus. So square root the first, square root the second, plus, minus. Or minus, plus, it doesn't matter. Okay, how many factors does this one have? 3. Factor 1, factor 2, factor 3. Okay, 3 factors. All right. Wait, next one. So now we have a trinomial, so it's not difference of squares. This is what we call a simple trinomial because the coefficient is 1. So we're going to look for your sum and product. Your product is plus 25, and your sum equals negative 10. So we look at numbers multiplied 25. 1 and 25, 5 and 5. Which combination adds to 10? 5 and 5. So the middle first term is b. That's how we get the b squared. And then we go 5 and 5. What about our signs? What combination of signs multiply to a positive and add to a negative? Yeah, 2 negatives. Okay. But how come you're probably not going to see this as an answer on the multiple choice test? Because you're going to see b minus 5 squared. Okay. Got to use your exponent rules. All right. Okay, next one. Simple trinomial, there's no number in front, so the product equals what? The sum equals what? Plus 40 plus 13. So what numbers multiply to 40? 1 and 40, 2 and 20, 3 and, nope, 4 and 10, 5 and 8, 6, no, 7, no, 8. Oh, we're at the beginning again. So which combination is going to give you 13? 5 and 8. So we're going to use 5 and 8 to make your factors. Multiplies to a positive, adds to a positive. So plus 5, plus 8. Doesn't matter which one goes where. Okay, you can have it p plus 5 at the beginning if you'd like. Okay. So the next one's tougher. Okay, this is where it's kind of reversed a little bit. You got to think it through. So what's your product equals what? Plus 70. So what numbers multiply to 70? And your sum equals negative 4. Although we got a little bit of work to do with that. Okay. So 1 and 70, 2 and 3 and, no, 4 and, no, 5 and, what? 5 and 8? No, that's more than that. 5 and 13 or 14? 14. 6, no, 7 and 10. Okay, so which combination is going to give you negative 4? None of them. Ooh. Oh, you guys see why? No. I wrote down why right at the very beginning of this page. What am I supposed to do first? Did I take out my GCF? That's why I'm messed up here. Scratch it out. GCF first. Okay, GCF first. So divide by what? At least a 2. Oh, that's so much nicer. So what's my product now? Positive 35. And what's my sum? Negative 2. Okay, try it again. Ooh. So which combination would get me to 2? Yeah, so I know it's 5 and 7. So what I have to do now is I got to do a little bit of guess and check. Okay, so first of all, equals 2, bracket. You got your bracket set up. Now, in order to have 35, I got to split that up into 5 and 7. I know that. Okay, and I know with the C, I have to have it C and C. But what else I also know is in order for it to be negative C squared, either this one is negative or this one's negative. So now I got to play around. Where should my negative sign go in order for me to get a negative 2? Which number must be negative in order for me to end with a negative 2? The 7 or the 5? The 7. So in order for the 7 to be negative, it must multiply by negative C. So you have to be a detective to figure out where your negative sign belongs. That's going to give me negative 7. The other one now is positive. If it's positive, it will give me a plus 5. And now I have my answer. Okay. Whenever you have the numbers first, you got to guess and check with the signs to figure it out. Okay? Got to guess and check. Wait, number 7. Take out GCF first. Is there GCF? Yep. No. No. Because you won't get 35 minus 2 minus C squared. It'd be all weird. You want to have it written in that order. And you won't see it on multiple choice test. Yeah, that's why. So you got to work on it backwards, reversed. Okay, question number 7. Is there GCF? No. So this is going to be decomposition. Okay, decomposition. So you got to do your super product. All right. So your super product is 3 times negative 12 equals negative 36. And your sum equals plus 5. So let's figure out what numbers multiply to 36. 1 end, 2 end, 3 end, 4 end. Keep going. Figure it out. That's the first thing you got to do. I don't come up with them randomly. I actually work it out. Okay. Now, which combination is going to give you plus 5? This one, 4 and 9. But what has to be negative in order for you to get the plus 5? Your 4 must be negative. Okay. So we're going to factor now with minus 4 and 9. So 3x squared, this one breaks apart into minus 4xy plus 9xy minus 12y squared. Okay. So now we're going to take out GCF out of the front and GCF out of the back. Remember this, guys? Kind of like it's 2 separate questions. Okay. So this is our hardest decomposition. So GCF out of the front, what can we take out of the front to? Any numbers? What about letters? Definitely an x. And in the brackets, you'll get 3x minus 4y. Okay. What about the back? Oops, it's a little thick. What's the GCF that you can take out of the back? Yeah, 3y. So it's plus 3y. And what goes in brackets? What's the remainder? And so now you have x plus 3y. Okay. Here's your x. There's your plus 3y. Okay. X plus 3y. And the other fraction is? So the other fraction, the other brackets, 3x minus 4y. Okay. What's that? Yeah, they are the same. 3x minus 4y, 3x minus 4y. That's what's got to be the same, okay? That part. Tough question. Okay. All right. We got 2 more to do. Let's take a. Okay. So number 7 is kind of nasty. What I would have done for number 7 as a starter question is I would have had the y's, right? With the y's there, it's more of a grade 11, 10 honors question. But with the y's there, without the y's, it's fair game, okay? Next one here, is there a GCF? Can you take out a GCF? Yeah, absolutely, right? They're all even numbers and they all have the letter A. So the GCF is? Okay. So write it up front. Do your division. Remainder in the brackets. Go. Okay, so 2a plus a minus 15. Again, we have, 2a squared rather. We have a number in front, so it's going to be a harder trinomial. So you got to do a super product, which is 2 times negative 15. And you got to do a sum, which is 1. So negative 30 and 1. So what numbers multiply to 30? Go for it. Write them out. 1 and, 2 and, etc., etc. Go. 2 times negative 15. Yeah, so you multiply these 2 together. Yeah. So 1 and 30, 2 and 15, 3 and 10, 4, nope. 5, nope. Yeah, 5 and 6. Okay. So which combination is going to get you a plus 1? Right here. 5 and 6. Okay. That'll get you your plus 1. Only if what? Yeah, negative 5. Okay. So we're going to split that apart then. Now I'm going to work just with this part. I'm not going to forget, though, the minus 2a over there. So I will get 2a squared minus 5a plus 6a. Does it matter which one I put first? No. Those can switch. It does not matter one little bit which one goes first. Which one did you write first, Luke? Which one are you going to write first, Luke? Sounds good. I'll switch mine around just to prove. Plus 6a minus 5a. So now you got to take a GCF out of the front 2 and a GCF out of the back 2. Go for it. Take out your GCFs. I know I'm on the right track because I have a plus 3 and a plus 3. So working backwards, Mr. Bell, 2a minus 5, a plus 3, but that's not a full mark. What did Mr. Barker forget? Yeah, I forgot my 2a factor. Okay, the GCF from the beginning, it's got to go there. How many factors altogether then? 3. Okay, we got 1, 2, 3. And what does it multiply to? When you multiply all those 3 together, what do you get? What we started with. Right? What we started with. You'll simplify to that. Okay. Questions, comments, concerns? Very quiet class. They're a tough crowd. You know, you figured that out yesterday. All right. Last one. GCF first. Go. Boom. GCF. 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 There is no GCF. Okay. So this will be a really tough one. You got to do a super product, which is going to be very large. 12 times negative 45. Nasty. So you know what we're going to do? We ain't going to do it. Just forget that. I don't feel like working with something so nasty. Okay? You guys want a simpler question? No? I don't want any more questions, Mr. Parker. Make the pain end.